Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome all of you for today's session. Let us begin with prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, everybody, and welcome all of you once again for today's book reading session. In a very few days, we are going to celebrate the divine appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and we need to receive the Lord in the right consciousness on the day of His appearance day. We need to prepare ourselves. And the best way to prepare ourselves to receive the Lord is to hear about Him. Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna, which means anyone who understands the transcendental nature of Krishna's appearance and his activities will become eligible to become free from the cycle of birth and death. Such a person need not have to take birth again in this miserable material world, but he can go back to Krishna. So, just by understanding the transcendental nature of Krishna's appearance and his activities, we can go back to Godhead. What a wonderful thing it is. So, Srila Prabhupada has written the summary study of the entire Krishna Leela described by Srila Vyasadeva in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada has presented this very nicely in the form of a continuous story format along with philosophical descriptions. It is not simply the presentation of the pastimes, but it is actually presentation of the pastimes of Krishna according to the philosophical understanding. And this summary study of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is called as the Krishna book. Krishna book is very special because Srila Prabhupada said, simply by reading this one book, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the full name of the book, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada said, simply by reading this one book, one can attain pure love of Krishna. So therefore, from today onwards, we shall be reading this book, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are about 90 chapters in this book, 90 Leelas of Lord Krishna. We are going to hear, meditate upon, and purify ourselves by hearing Krishna Leela. Now, one important thing is, I'm going to read from the book, and all of you should listen very attentively. Every now and then, in between, I shall be asking questions based on what we have read. Okay? Generally, you ask me questions at the end of every session, but for a change, I will be asking you questions to check how alert, how attentive you are while hearing the Leelas of Lord Krishna. So let us begin quickly. This will be a 1 hour session. So I request all of you to please stay on, pay attention. And as I mentioned, just by paying attention and hearing in a devotional spirit the Leelas of Lord Krishna, we can become quickly purified. So let us begin. Reading from the book Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by Vishwaguru Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Introduction. So let us begin with introduction. We will be reading Introduction by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada begins the introduction with a very interesting prayer which was chanted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I shall be reciting that prayer. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Rakshama. Krishna, 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 Pahima. Rama, Raghava, Rama, Raghava, Rama, Raghava, Rakshama. Krishna, Keshava, Krishna, Keshava, Krishna, Keshava, Pahima. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 7, verse 96. Just a moment. While attempting to write this book, Krishna, let me first offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, Om Vishnupada Ashtottara Shata, Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada. Then let me offer my respectful obeisances to the ocean of mercy, Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna Himself, appearing in the role of a devotee, just to distribute the highest principles of devotional service. Lord Chaitanya began his preaching from the country known as Gauda Desha or West Bengal. And as I belong to the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, I must therefore offer my respectful obeisances to our disciplic succession. This Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya is also known as Brahma Sampradaya because the disciplic succession originally began from Brahma. Brahma instructed the sage Narada, Narada instructed Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva instructed Madhva Muni or Madhvacharya. Madhavendra Puri, the originator of the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, belongs to the Madhvacharya disciplic succession. He had many renowned disciples, both in the sannyasa or renounced and household orders of life. Disciples such as Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, and Ishvara Puri. Ishvara Puri happened to be the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So let us offer our respectful obeisances to Ishvara Puri, Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Acharya, Srivas Pandita, and Sri Gadadhara Pandita. Next, let us offer our respectful obeisances to Swarup Damodara, who acted as the private secretary to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And let us offer our respectful obeisances to Sri Vasudeva Datta and the constant attendant of Lord Chaitanya, Sri Govinda, and the constant friend of Lord Chaitanya, Mukunda, and also to Murari Gupta. And let us offer our respectful obeisances to the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami. Krishna himself has explained in the Bhagavad Gita that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whenever there are discrepancies in the regulative principles of man's religious life and the prominence of irreligious activities, he appears on this earthly planet. In other words, when Lord Sri Krishna appeared, there was a necessity of minimizing the load of sinful activities accumulated on this planet or in this universe. For affairs of the material creation, Lord Mahavishnu, the plenary portion of Krishna, is in charge. When the Lord descends, the incarnation emanates from Vishnu. Mahavishnu is the original cause of material creation, and from him Garbhodakashayi Vishnu expands, and then Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Generally, all the incarnations appearing within this material universe are plenary expansions from Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Therefore, the business of minimizing the overload of sinful activities on this earth does not belong to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. But when Krishna appears, all the Vishnu expansions also join with him. Krishna's different expansions, namely Narayana, the quadruple expansions of Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, as well as the partial plenary expansion of Matsya, or the incarnation of fish, and other Yuga avatars, incarnations for the millennium, and the Manvantara avatars, the incarnations of Manus, all combine together and appear with the body of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is the complete whole, and all plenary expansions and incarnations always live with him. Okay, I hope this part all of you have heard very nicely, attentively. Now, a few questions based on this part. The first question is, if you know the answer, you have to just raise your hand, okay? Uh, First question is, what is the name of the Sampradaya to which Srila Prabhupada belongs? What is the complete name? Yes, Rajashekar. What is the answer, Rajashekar? You can unmute yourself and speak.
Sorry, Prabhu. Brahma Sampradaya.
Yeah. Brahma Sampradaya. Is that the complete name? Yeah, very good. Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Yes, very good, very good. Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. That's the right answer. All of you can remove the raised hand. I'll ask you the second question now. What is the name of the secretary of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the private secretary of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? What is his name? Yes, Nanda Kumar. Please
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
unmute. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Swarup
Yes.
Damodar Prabhu.
Yes, wonderful. That's the right answer. Swarup Damodar Goswami acted as the private secretary of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The next question is, yes, the next question is, who acted as the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Please raise your hand if you know the answer. Who was the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Who can answer? Yes, Rajashekar.
I think Mahendra Puri. Is that right, Prabhu?
Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri is the wrong answer.
Okay.
So the right answer is Ishvara Puri. Ishvara Puri was the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ishvara Puri was the disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Okay. Okay, now the last question based on what we read now. Who is in charge of reducing the burden of sinful activities in the universe? Who is in charge of minimizing the overload of sinful activities in the universe? Who can answer this? Others are okay. Hari Sai. Yes, Hari Sai.
Garbhodakaya
Please
Vishnu.
unmute. Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu is not the right answer. Okay, anybody else wants to try? Yes, Rajashekhar.
Hero the Kashai Vishnu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, is it
The
audible?
right
Shiro
answer.
the Kashai.
Shirodaka Shai Vishnu.
Okay.
Yes, yes, I heard it. Shirodaka Shai Vishnu is the right answer. Thank you for answering, Rajashekhar. So let's now continue to read. I request all of you to please pay attention. When Krishna appeared, Lord Vishnu was also with him. Krishna actually appears to demonstrate his Vrindavan pastimes and to attract the fortunate conditioned souls and invite them back home, back to Godhead. Was simultaneous to his Vrindavan activities and was carried out only by the Vishnu portion of Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter, 20th verse, another eternal nature, the spiritual sky, which is transcendental to this manifested and non manifested matter. The manifested world can be seen in the form of many stars and planetary systems, such as the sun, moon, etc. But beyond this, there is a non manifested portion which is not approachable to anyone in this body. And beyond that non manifested matter, there is the spiritual kingdom. That kingdom is described in the Bhagavad Gita as supreme and eternal. It is never annihilated. This material nature is subjected to repeated creation and annihilation. But that part, the spiritual nature, remains as it is eternally. The supreme abode of the personality of Godhead Krishna is also described in the Brahma Samhita as the abode of Chintamani. That abode of Lord Krishna, known as Goloka Vrindavana, is full of palaces made of touchstone. There, the trees are called desire trees, and the cows are called Surabhi. The Lord is served there by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. His name is Govinda, the primeval Lord, and he is the cause of all causes. There the Lord plays his flute. His eyes are like lotus petals, and the color of his body is like that of a beautiful cloud. On his head is a peacock feather. He is so attractive that he excels thousands of cupids. Lord Krishna gives only a little hint in the Gita of his personal abode, which is the supermost planet in the spiritual kingdom. But in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna actually appears with all his paraphernalia and demonstrates his activities in Vrindavan, then at Mathura, and then at Dwaraka. The subject matter of this book will gradually reveal all these activities. The family in which Krishna appeared is called the Yadu dynasty. The family in which Krishna appeared is called the Yadu dynasty. This Yadu dynasty belongs to the family descending from Soma, the god in the moon planet. There are two different Kshatriya families of the royal order, one descending from the king of the moon planet and the other descending from the king of the sun planet. Whenever the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, he generally appears in a Kshatriya family because he has to establish religious principles or the life of righteousness. The Kshatriya family is the protector of the human race according to the Vedic system. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as Lord Ramachandra, he appeared in the family descending from the sun god known as Raghu Vamsha. And when he appeared as Lord Krishna, he did so in the family of Yadu Vamsha. There is a long list of the kings of the Yadu Vamsha in the ninth canto, 24th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. All of them were great, powerful kings. Krishna's father's name was Vasudeva, son of Shurasena, descending from the Yadu dynasty. Actually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not belong to any dynasty of this material world, but the family in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears becomes famous by His grace. For example, sandalwood is produced in the states of Malaya. Sandalwood has its own qualifications apart from Malaya, but because accidentally this wood is mainly produced in the states of Malaya, it is known as Malayan sandalwood. Similarly, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, belongs to everyone. But just as the sun rises from the east, although there are other directions from which it could rise, so by his own choice, the Lord appears in a particular family, and that family becomes famous. Okay, now it's a quiz time based on what we read now. So, first question is, in which chapter of the Bhagavad Gita Lord Krishna gives us a hint of his spiritual abode? In which chapter of the Bhagavad Gita Lord Krishna gives a hint about his spiritual abode? Whoever knows can raise your hand. No one wants to try. You can at least guess. You should hear very attentively. Yes, Sheetal Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, is it 8th chapter, Prabhu?
Yes, that's the right answer. 8th chapter,
20
20th shloka. That is the
shloka.
right answer. Krishna says, Parastasmat tu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha. Krishna says, beyond this manifested and non-manifested existence, there is my supreme abode, which is sanatanaha, which is eternal. Okay, the next question is, in which scripture there is complete detail mentioned about the abode of Lord Krishna, Goloka Vrindavana? There it is described that the Goloka Vrindavana is called Chintamani Dhama because every palace there is made up of touchstone. So, which scripture gives these details? Okay, Rohan. Yes, Rohan.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhu.
Srimad Bhagavatam is not the right answer. It is also the right answer, but I said Chintamani Dhama, where it is described. Okay, let us hear from Rajshekhar. Yes, Rajshekhar.
Brahma Samhita, Prabhu. Sri Brahma Samhita.
Yes, Brahma Samhita. Sri Brahma Samhita is the right answer. So there in the Brahma Samhita it is described Chintamani Prakara Sadma Sukalpa Vriksha Laksha Vruteshu Surabhira Bhipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shaka Sambhrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Brahma Samhita is a very beautiful scripture. Lord Brahma, in the very beginning of the creation, when he was enlightened with transcendental knowledge by Lord Krishna, he glorifies Lord Krishna because Lord Brahma, by the mercy of Krishna, got the revelation of the spiritual world, of the Vaikuntha, and of Goloka Vrindavana. So he describes in these prayers what he saw in Goloka Vrindavana, in the spiritual world. So Lord Brahma says, I worship the primeval Lord who is known as Govinda, and his abode, Goloka Vrindavana, is made up of Chintamani, touchstone. And there the The trees are all desire fulfilling trees called Kalpa Vriksha. And all the cows give unlimited supply of milk, and they are known as Surabhi cows. And there are hundreds and thousands of Lakshmi Devis, goddesses of fortune, who are all eagerly waiting to render some service to Krishna. So this is the description found in Sri Brahma Samhita. Okay, the next question. Complete this sentence. Krishna is so attractive that he excels thousands of dash. Krishna is so attractive that he excels thousands of dash. Okay, Abhishek Kumar.
Kamdeva Prabhu.
Kamadeva, what is the English word Prabhupada uses?
Cupid.
Cupids. Yes. Cupids is the right answer. Kamadeva is the right answer. Abhishek. Krishna is so attractive that he excels thousands of cupids. Kandarpa koti kamaniya vishesha shobham govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Kandarpa means cupids. This is also a description in the Brahma Samhita. Generally, in the material world, Cupid is said to be very, very pleasing to look at, very beautiful. But in front of Krishna's transcendental beauty, crores and crores of Kandarpa, Cupid's combined beauty, is nothing. So that is the description. Okay, the next question. In which three places did Krishna perform his leelas on this material world, in this material world? Which are the three places? So again, we have Rajashekhar. Yes.
Vrindavan, Madhura, Dwaraka.
Wonderful. That's the right answer. Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwaraka. These are the three places where Krishna performed his leelas when he appeared 5,000 years ago in this material world. But we should understand that these three places, even though they are present in the material world, they are not part of this material world. When Krishna descended, a part of the spiritual world also descended. So these three places, they're actually as good as the spiritual world, the Vaikuntha planets, the spiritual planets. This we should understand. Okay, last question. What are the names of the Vamshas in which Lord Ramachandra and Lord Krishna Chandra appeared? What are the names of the Vamshas? Okay, let us hear from Krishna Chandra.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It's
Hare Krishna.
Raghuvancha.
Who appeared in which
Raghuvancha appeared,
Vamsha?
Ramachandra appeared in Raghuvancha, and Yaduvancha is Krishna, Lord Krishna.
Yes, wonderful, very nice. Thank you. So Lord Rama appeared in Raghu Vamsha, therefore he is known as Raghava. You can mute yourself, Krishna Chandra. So Lord Rama appeared in Raghu Vamsha, which is a part of the Surya Vamsha, originating from sun god. And since Lord Rama appeared in Raghu Vamsha, he is known as Raghava or Raghavendra, is called. And Krishna appeared in Yadu Vamsha, which descends from the moon god, Soma, Chandra Vamsha, Yadu Vamsha. So since Krishna appeared in Yadu Vamsha, Krishna is known as Yadava or Yadavendra. So Raghava and Yadava. So two different dynasties. So and Prabhupada explains that generally when the Lord appears, he appears in the Kshatriya dynasties. Generally, because Kshatriyas are supposed to be the protectors, and Krishna also comes to this material world to protect Dharma. Therefore, he accepts, generally he appears in a Kshatriya dynasty, which is descending either from the Surya Vamsha or from the Chandra Vamsha. Let's continue now. Let's continue to read. Please pay attention. When Krishna appears, all his plenary expansions also appear with him. Krishna appeared along with Balarama or Baladeva, who is known as his elder brother. Balarama is the origin of Sankarshana of the quadruple expansion. Balarama is also the plenary expansion of Krishna. In this book, the attempt will be made to show how Krishna appeared in the family of the Yadu dynasty and how he displayed his transcendental characteristics. This is very vividly described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, specifically the 10th canto, and the basis of this book will be Srimad Bhagavatam. The pastimes of the Lord are generally heard and relished by liberated souls. Those who are conditioned souls are interested in reading fictional stories of the material activities of some common man. Narrations describing the transcendental activities of the Lord are found in Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas. But the conditioned souls still prefer to study ordinary narrations. They are not so interested in studying the narrations of the pastimes of the Lord, Krishna. And yet, the descriptions of the pastimes of Lord Krishna are so attractive that they are relishable for all classes of men. There are three classes of men in this world. One class consists of liberated souls, another consists of those who are trying to be liberated, and the third consists of materialistic men. Whether one is liberated, or is trying to be liberated, or is even grossly materialistic, the pastimes of Lord Krishna are worthy studying. Liberated souls have no interest in materialistic activities. The impersonalist theory that after liberation one becomes inactive and needs hear nothing does not prove that a liberated person is actually inactive. A living soul cannot be inactive. He is either active in the conditioned state or in the liberated state. A diseased person, for example, is also active, but his activities are all painful. The same person, when freed from the diseased condition, is still active, but in the healthy condition, the activities are full of pleasure. Similarly, the impersonalists manage to get freed from the diseased conditional activities, but they have no information of activities in the healthy condition. Those who are actually liberated and in full knowledge take to hearing the activities of Krishna. Such engagement is pure spiritual activity. It is essential for persons who are actually liberated to hear about the pastimes of Krishna. That is the supreme relishable subject matter for one in the liberated state. Also, if persons who are trying to be liberated hear such narrations as Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then their path of liberation becomes very clear. Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of Srimad Bhagavatam. By studying the Gita, one becomes fully conscious of the position of Lord Krishna, and when he is situated at the lotus feet of Krishna, he understands the narrations of Krishna as described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya has therefore advised his followers that their business is to propagate Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha means narrations about Krishna. There are two Krishna Kathas, narrations spoken by Krishna and narrations spoken about Krishna. Bhagavad Gita is the narration or the philosophy or the science of God spoken by Krishna himself. Srimad Bhagavatam is the narration about the activities and transcendental pastimes of Krishna. Both are Krishna Katha. It is the order of Lord Chaitanya that Krishna Katha should be spread all over the world, because if the conditioned souls suffering under the pangs of material existence take to Krishna Katha, then their path of liberation will be open and clear. The purpose of presenting this book is primarily to induce people to understand Krishna or Krishna Katha, because thereby they can become freed from material bondage. This Krishna Katha will also be very much appealing to the most materialistic persons, because Krishna's pastimes with the gopis or cowherd girls are exactly like the loving affairs between young girls and boys within this material world. Actually, the sex feeling found in human society is not unnatural, because this same sex feeling is there in the original personality of Godhead. The pleasure potency is called Srimati Radharani. The attraction of loving affairs on the basis of sex feeling is the original feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we, the conditioned souls, being part and parcel of the Supreme, have such feelings also. But they are experienced within a perverted, minute condition. Therefore, when those who are after sex life in this material world hear about Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, they will relish transcendental pleasure, although it appears to be materialistic. The advantage will be that they will gradually be elevated to the spiritual platform. In the Bhagavatam, it is stated that if one hears the pastimes of Lord Krishna with the gopis from authorities with submission, then he will be promoted to the platform of transcendental loving service to the Lord, and the material disease of lust within his heart will be completely vanquished. In other words, it will counteract the material sex life. Okay, now questions based on this part. First question: Dash is also the plenary expansion of Krishna. Yes, Hari Sai.
Balarama or Balabhadra is the plenary extension of Krishna.
Yes, that's the right answer. So Balarama is also the plenary expansion of Krishna. Now, plenary expansion means uh, the expansion has the same powers as good as the original. That is the meaning. Plenary, absolute. Okay, the next question. In which canto of Srimad Bhagavatam the pastimes of Lord Krishna are described in detail? Okay, this is a very easy question. Shashi Ram, what's the answer?
10th canto, Prabhu.
Yes, that's the right answer. I mentioned this in the beginning of the session also. 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is the right answer. In fact, Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto is compared to the smiling face of Krishna. Just like when we have darshan of the Lord, we must first begin by having darshan, meditating upon the lotus feet of the Lord. Then progressively from the lotus feet, we should meditate on each and every part of the transcendental body of Krishna, and then go to the smiling face of Krishna. That is the right way of having darshan. In the same way, Vyasadeva has described the beautiful pastimes of Krishna in the 10th canto. And in the first 9 cantos, Vyasadeva has prepared the reader so that he does not misunderstand those transcendental pastimes of Krishna to be ordinary activities. So the first 9 cantos describe the tattva, the philosophy, the truth about Krishna. And the 10th canto describes the rasa, or the transcendental loving exchanges that Krishna enacts with his devotees through his leelas. So that is the 10th canto is the right answer. The next question is, The pastimes of the Lord are generally heard and relished by whom? The pastimes of the Lord are generally heard and relished by whom? Okay, Rajashekhar.
Liberated souls, Prabhu.
Yes, that's the right answer. Liberated souls. There is a beautiful verse in the beginning of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam when Maharaj Parikshit requests Shukadev Goswami to begin to narrate Krishna Katha. So there, Maharaj Parikshit says, Nivrittatarshairupagiyamanat bhavaushada shrotra manobhirama. So Parikshit Maharaj says, Nivritta Tarshaihi Upagiyamana. Nivritta Tarshaihi means those who have become free from all kinds of hankerings, material hankerings. They are called liberated souls. And the liberated souls take great pleasure in describing, in hearing about the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So they take pleasure. That means if we want to relish Krishna Katha, the pastimes of Krishna, we must actually come to the liberated platform. Only then we can relish Krishna Katha. Now, what about those who are not yet liberated? For them also, Krishna Katha is very attractive because when they hear Krishna Katha, those who are trying to become liberated, their path for liberation becomes clear, as Prabhupada mentioned. And the third kind of people, materialistic people, they will also find Krishna Katha very attractive, specifically the pastimes of Krishna with the gopis of Vrindavan. They will find it very attractive. So, in that way, for everybody, for all the three categories of people, Krishna Katha is very much recommended, or it is applicable for hearing the liberated souls, the souls who are trying to be liberated, and the materialistic people. All of them find Krishna Katha very attractive. Now, the next question is now, if a liberated, people uh, who are materialistic people, right? They are generally interested in hearing about some material hero of this world, isn't it? Now, how should they hear Krishna Katha? What is the way that they should hear Krishna Katha? So let us see who can say. There are two conditions Prabhupada mentions for materialistic people to hear Krishna Katha. What are the two conditions? Yes, Nanda Kumar.
From the authority, from the liberated soul.
Yes. Yes, they should hear from the authorities. That's the right answer. What's the second condition?
Don't know,
They
Prabhu.
should hear they should hear submissively. That's the answer. So they should hear from authorities with submission. If they do so, then the materialistic people will also get benefited. They will also get benefited by hearing Krishna Katha. Now, the next question is about that only. What is the actual benefit the materialistic people will derive by hearing the pastimes of Krishna with the gopis? What is the benefit? Yes, Shashiram.
They derive transcendental pleasure.
No. Okay. They derive transcendental pleasure. What actually happens to them by hearing Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan? Okay, let's hear from Nanda Kumar. Hare
The,
Krishna.
the liberation path will get clear.
No, that is for those who are trying to be liberated. But for the materialistic people, what is the benefit exactly they will derive by hearing Krishna Katha? Yes, Rajashekar.
They enjoy the conjugal attraction between Krishna and Gopi Prabhu. Because of that, they will
So, what is the
gradually
benefit?
go to they will gradually go to spiritual platform level by means of sexual attraction between gopis and Krishna.
No, that's not the exact answer. Okay, let's hear from Krishna Pandey.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So they will be
Hare
elevated
Krishna.
to the spiritual platform.
Hmm. That's okay. That's correct. They'll be elevated to the spiritual platform. That's correct. But the exact answer is uh, they will be promoted to the transcendental loving service to the Lord, and the material disease of lust within his heart will be completely vanquished. Shukadev Goswami says, Hrudroga will be destroyed. Hrudroga. Hrudaya Roga. Roga means disease. The Roga in the heart. What is the Roga in the heart all of us have? Kama, lust. By hearing the activities of Krishna, the materialistic people, if they hear the activities of Krishna from the authorities in submission, the result is that they will actually become free from the disease of lust and they'll be promoted to the transcendental loving service to the Lord. So that's the wonderful benefit. Okay, now let's, last question. What are the two types of Krishna Katha? Who can answer? Raise your hand. What are the two types of Krishna Katha? I want to hear from someone who has not spoken so far. No one is raising hand. Very easy. Two kinds of Krishna Katha. Many times we have discussed also. Okay, let's hear from Abhishek Kumar.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. One is Prabhu Bhagavad Gita, which is spoken by the Lord, and another is of Srimad Bhagavatam about the Lord.
Wonderful, very nice. Krishna Katha, there are two types, Krishnena Katha and Krishnasya Katha. Krishnena Katha means the words spoken by Krishna himself, that is Bhagavad Gita, and Krishnasya Katha means the descriptions of the activities of Krishna, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So we must study, we must hear both these Krishna Kathas. And Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam is postgraduate study, Srila Prabhupada said. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order is that Yare dekho tare kaho. Yare dekho tare kaho. What? Let's see who can complete this
Krishna
sentence.
Upadesha.
Krishna
Krishna
Upadesha.
Upadesha.
Yes.
Krishna Upadesha.
Yes.
Yare dekhe tare kaho Krishna Upadesha.
Very nice, very nice. Yare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order is we must study Krishna Katha and we must propagate Krishna Katha. That is the meaning of being a devotee in the Sampradaya of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have to not only understand Krishna Katha, we must also spread Krishna Katha, discuss about it with more people. Okay, now let's continue to read. Please pay attention. This is the last segment of today's session. Krishna will be appealing to the liberated souls and to persons who are trying to be liberated, as well as to the gross conditioned materialists. According to the statement of Maharaj Parikshit, who heard about Krishna from Shukadev Goswami, Krishna Katha is equally applicable to every human being in whatever condition of life he is in. Everyone will appreciate it to the highest magnitude. But Maharaj Parikshit also warned that persons who are simply engaged in killing animals and in killing themselves may not be very much attracted to Krishna Katha. In other words, ordinary persons who are following the regulative moral principles of scriptures, no matter in what condition they are found, will certainly be attracted, but not persons who are killing themselves. The exact word used in the Srimad Bhagavatam is Pashughna, which means killing animals or killing oneself. Persons who are not self-realized and who are not interested in spiritual realization are killing themselves. They are committing suicide because this human form of life is especially meant for self-realization. By neglecting this important part of his activities, one simply wastes his time like the animals. So, he is Pashughna. The other meaning of the word refers to those who are actually killing animals. This means persons who are animal eaters, even dog eaters, and they are all engaged in killing animals in so many ways, such as hunting, opening slaughterhouses, etc., such persons cannot be interested in Krishna Katha. King Parikshit was especially interested in hearing Krishna Katha because he knew that his forefathers, and particularly his grandfather Arjuna, were victorious in the great battle of Kurukshetra only because of Krishna. We may also take this material world as a battle of Kurukshetra, battlefield of Kurukshetra. Everyone is struggling hard for existence in this battlefield, and at every step there is danger. According to Maharaj Parikshit, the battlefield of Kurukshetra was just like a vast ocean full of dangerous animals. His grandfather Arjuna had to fight with such great heroes as Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and many others who were not ordinary fighters. Such warriors have been compared to the Timingila fish in the ocean. The Timingila fish can very easily swallow up big whales. The great fighters on the battlefield of Kurukshetra could swallow many Arjunas very easily. But simply due to Krishna's mercy, Arjuna was able to kill all of them. Just as one can cross with no exertion over the little pit of water contained in the hoof print of a calf, so Arjuna, by the grace of Krishna, was able to very easily jump over the ocean of the battle of Kurukshetra. Maharaj Parikshit very much appreciated Krishna's activities for many other reasons. Not only was his grandfather saved by Krishna, but he himself was also saved by Krishna. At the end of the battle of Kurukshetra, all the members of the Kuru dynasty, both the sons of and grandsons on the side of Dhritarashtra, as well as those on the side of the Pandavas, died in the fighting, except the five Pandava brothers. Everyone died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Maharaj Parikshit was at that time within the womb of his mother. His father, Abhimanyu, the son of Arjuna, also died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And so, Maharaj Parikshit was a posthumous child. When he was in the womb of his mother, a Brahmastra weapon was released by Ashwathama to kill the child. When Parikshit Maharaja's mother, Uttara, approached Krishna, Krishna, seeing the danger of abortion, entered her womb as the super soul and saved Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit's other name is Vishnu Rata because he was saved by Lord Vishnu himself while still within the womb. Thus, everyone in any condition of life should be interested in hearing about Krishna and his activities because he is the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead. He is all pervading. He is living within everyone's heart and he is living as his universal form. And yet, as described in the Bhagavad Gita, he appears as he is in the human society, just to invite everyone to his transcendental abode, back to home, back to Godhead. Everyone should be interested in knowing about Krishna, and this book is presented with this purpose, that people may know about Krishna and be perfectly benefited in this human form of life. In the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Baladeva is described as the son of Rohini, a wife of Vasudeva. Vasudeva, the father of Krishna, had 16 wives, and one of them was Rohini, the mother of Balarama. But Balarama is also described as the son of Devaki. So how could he be the son of both Devaki and Rohini? This was one of the questions put by Maharaj Parikshit to Shukadev Goswami, and it will be answered in due course. Maharaj Parikshit also asked Shukadev Goswami, why Sri Krishna just after his appearance as the son of Vasudeva, was immediately carried to the house of Nanda Maharaj in Vrindavan, Gokul. He also wanted to know what the activities of Lord Krishna were while he was in Vrindavan and while he was in Mathura. Besides that, he was especially inquisitive to know why Krishna killed his maternal uncle, Kamsa. Kamsa, being the brother of his mother, was a very intimate superior to Krishna. So, how was it that he killed Kamsa? Also, he asked how many years Lord Krishna remained in human society, how many years he reigned over the kingdom of Dwaraka, and how many wives he accepted there. A Kshatriya king is generally accustomed to accept more than one wife. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit also inquired about his number of wives. The subject matter of this book is Shukadev Goswami's answering of these and other questions asked by Maharaj Parikshit. The position of Maharaj Parikshit and Shukadev Goswami is unique. Okay, we'll continue reading that in the next session. Now we will have questions about this quickly. The first question is, according to Maharaj Parikshit, who is not eligible to understand or to get attracted to Krishna Katha? Yes, Krishna Chandra. Krishna Chandra, please unmute and speak.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu,
Yes.
those people are hunting animals, killing or eating meat eating people. They cannot
Yeah.
understand that Krishna.
Yes. Yes. So that's the right answer. Partial answer. Partial. Anyone else would like to complete the answer? Rajashekar.
Pashubna, Prabhu, Pashubna. So the dog eaters, the same thing I agree with Krishna Chandra.
Yeah.
The dog eaters, the people who kill animals and kill themselves
Yeah.
are not
Kill
eligible.
themselves. Yes. Correct. So Pashugnas are not eligible or not eligible. They're not attracted to Krishna Katha. That's what Maharaj Parikshit says. They're not attracted. So Pashugnas are of two types. Those who kill the animals and eat their flesh, that is one category of Pashugnas. Another category of Pashugnas are those who kill themselves. Human beings who are actually supposed to be engaged in activities of self realization, if they engage in sense gratification, they're as good as animals. Therefore, they're called Pashu. And because they don't engage in Krishna consciousness, they are actually killing themselves. It's like committing suicide. So they are called Pashugnas. So those who are too much engrossed in sense gratification and those who are eating meat, such people's heart becomes stone like. Therefore, they don't get attracted to the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. That is a statement of Maharaj Parikshit. Now, the last question for today: what is the specific name of Maharaj Parikshit? One of the names of Maharaj Parikshit mentioned, and how did he get that name? Yes, Shashiram.
Prabhu Vishnu Rata,
Yes. Why is
because
he called Vishnu Rata?
he was saved by Lord Vishnu himself when he was in the womb,
Yeah.
attacked by
Yes, that's the
Brahmastra.
right answer. Yes, that's the right answer. At the end of Battle of Kurukshetra, Ashwathama released Brahmastra to kill the last descendant of the Pandavas, that is Maharaj Parikshit. He was in the womb of his mother Uttara, who was the wife of Abhimanyu. So at that time, Krishna personally enters into the womb of Uttara. So Krishna enters as four-handed Narayana, as four-handed Vishnu, and he saves the child from getting aborted by the heat of Brahmastra. So Parikshit Maharaj is so fortunate that before even taking birth, he was able to see Lord personally within the womb of his mother. So, since he was personally protected by Lord Vishnu or Krishna, he is known as Vishnu Rata. So, uh, that brings us to the end of today's reading session. Thank you all for giving your valuable time. We shall continue to read the introduction and we shall begin the first chapter tomorrow in tomorrow's session. Please do join us sharp at 8 o'clock. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ki Jai, Vishwaguru, Srila